the Brewers are kind of rated this way on projection. They are a bad team. Last 20 games, last 30 games, they're bad. That's a big sample. Their frontline number one starter, Corbin Burns, isn't good this year. He's a good pitcher. He's just not good this year. Their number two starter, Brandon Woodruff, has been hurt like the whole season, and he is going to come back at some point, but we don't really know when that is. It's kind of soon, maybe not, and that's what's guiding the projection. So it's kind of like, well, wait a minute. If like Corbin Burns is guiding this projection, but he kind of stinks, and if Brandon Woodruff and whatever that's going to be when he comes back from injury is guiding this projection, we don't really know what that's going to look like. Aren't they incredibly vulnerable? Like what? It's almost like, what am I missing here? And then it's the second question. So okay, you identify the vulnerable favorite, and then you go, well, man, but like, who do I want to take to try to beat him with, or do I want to try to take like everyone? Like you basically create like a not Brewers bet by trying to price shop the Reds and the Cubs and the Cardinals. I wouldn't bet the Pirates ever, but like you could add them into if you really wanted to have all four and try to create a new type of bet. So like I've been spending a lot of time in this market for about a week. I wrote about it on Sunday at the Substack. Like if you go to all these different sports books, nobody really knows how to price this thing. The prices are all over the map. At one point yesterday, the Cubs were 3, 4, 5, and 6 in 4 different places. So Jake, I'll read you the BetMGM NL Central market just to kind of tee everybody back up again. So the Brewers, who are not in first place anymore, the Reds are up a half game. The Brewers are plus 115. The Reds are plus 350. They're now in first. They're kind of the story of baseball right now. The Cubs are 4-1 and playing a lot better now. The Cardinals are 5-1 and maybe are starting to play a lot better. Maybe you can speak to that if you want. And the Pirates are 15-1 and everybody thinks they have no shot, even though they're in third. Most interesting thing, Jeremy and I both said the Reds, which is low-hanging fruit. Most interesting thing in the NL Central, either the market, the division, whatever, is what for you?
I mean, it's going to be really boring, but I mean, it is the Reds. They've won a ton of games in a row. They just got, I mean, really their star back, I guess, in Joey Votto, if you want to still call him a star, which who knows what he's going to be, but his home run was 100 miles an hour off the bat yesterday. He had a go-ahead RBI yesterday. Apparently in the minors, he was just launching the ball, too, on his rehab assignment. So maybe he's going to be really good, and he's going to look like the Joey Votto from 5 years ago. I don't know. But the Reds team is really good because they have a lot of really young talent that's coming out of the gate really hot. Elly De La Cruz, obviously, and Andrew Abbott's up there as well. I think it's the Reds. I think they certainly can win this division for sure. I think Jeremy said in a break, they're like the Orioles of last year, but the light version. They're a really good young team that's hot at the right time. And maybe it doesn't end up with them in the playoffs, or maybe it does, but it really just leads up to they're probably still a year away before they're really, really good. This is just kind of the preview to that, and it's still really fun and exciting.
Yeah.
It's funny, too. You know, I know. Do you guys talk about when Elly De La Cruz hit the ball? Like, what, he hit a line drive to the first baseman and beat it out with that slide? Like, it's little things like that that just stand out to you. Like, man, that's fun to watch. Like, it's so stupid. It's an infield hit, but it really is fun to see a young player take off down the line. He's 7'12", so I think it was 3 steps. He reached out and touched the base. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Like, they're a young, fun team. And even when, like, we didn't even bring up Fraley, he got hurt and he got hot. Like, he was hitting a bunch of home runs. So there is some talent there. I don't know that they have enough pitching to hold up. But again, their division is awful. Like, if you're the Pirates, I think you look in the mirror and say, okay, we're focusing on some other things. We're going to find out what trade pieces we have and try to, add.
O'Neal Cruz comes back like in August at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it looks like they're making some moves and they look good. I think they need to do that. I also think the Cubs are the other team that needs to. I think this is Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and I'm only going to put St. Louis there because there's so much talent on that team. I don't like their pitching. I think Jordan Montgomery is their best pitcher.
The coverage of the team is now slanted is the wrong word. All of it is taking the angle of like, well, now they've got everything figured out. Like, this guy's going to pitch the 7th, this guy's going to pitch the 8th, Hicks is going to pitch the 9th, like Goldschmidt's hitting home run. Like, this is all now working. Like, now we did this with the Padres yesterday too. Like, have they turned the corner, or is this like a mirage and the corner's not there and the corner's actually like a mile away and they haven't turned it yet? I do actually kind of want to play like, is the price right with this? Like, in a week, what do we think this is? Like, what do we think this is? So Jeremy, do you want to like maybe like the opening salvo here? Jake's going to give us counts and stuff. We only have like a minute, but like Brewers 110, like I'm tired of reading this. And I keep saying 110 and I have to scroll up. Brewers 115, Reds 350, Cubs 4, Cardinals 5, Pirates 15. 2 weeks from now.
Can I top out and say
2 weeks from now, who's the favorite?
I was going to. Oh God, this is such an ugly division.
Brewers still,
and now I get to go first. Brewers. I'm saying Brewers. Ugh.
I think they are too, but like, is the answer going to be to bet the Reds for like 2 months? Is that going to be the answer? Just like basically baseball markets just refusing, which happens every year with like one team. Remember the Giants a couple of years ago, like in the NL West, where it was just like, yeah, they're not going to win. They're like, well, kind of happens,
right?
They're pretty good. I don't know.
It's crazy.
I think they're still going to be the favorite, and I still kind of want to bet against them. I don't know. I think this is the most interesting betting market going by far. If I know something really well, and it's a season-long market, I can look at it and can kind of unpack it really, really well and be like, here are the things that are going to change. This is the price that's most likely to go down. This is going to go up in a week. This is what it's going to be, most likely. And then as the events change, you kind of you reassess what you want to do. But like, knowing, okay, like, and for some people listening, and this was me for like a really long time, maybe nothing goes in the you win at it bucket. And that's okay too, by the way. But at least you know that. At least you least you are armed with that knowledge, right? So I know I didn't answer your question fully. I kind of took it in a different direction, but that's, I think, another good skill to have. There's a skill, or not a skill. There's a topic called domain knowledge that's like, I think, really, really important. 2 types of domain knowledge. One is sport specific. Are you completely up to date on all information about all teams as much as possible? Are you reading a lot about? There's a professional bettor on Twitter who put out a tweet today, and I bet I don't know if it surprised people, but if they thought about it, I bet it would surprise them. Put out a tweet today like looking for someone. He was offering to pay someone to write up coach transcripts and offering them like $100 a week or whatever it was, and so that he could take in that information without having to do all the work, like have somebody write up all the transcripts. You look at it. Is there anything interesting in what all the managers in baseball said last night? And he said like, the usual person that does this is on vacation, implying that he always has someone who does that. And okay, what can we unpack from that? Which people know anyway, I think, but just like even the best people want all of the information. It sounds like a Trump thing, even the best people. They want as much information as possible about the sport that they're betting into. What can we gain any insight, any information that can create a valuable bet about what's going on? It's not just like make a number. Like, I want to read as much as possible. So that's bucket 1 for domain knowledge. Like, how much do you know about what's going on in the sport or in the specific market that you're interested in? And then domain knowledge number 2 is, okay, all of the sports books on earth, locals, domestics, offshores, the guy down the street who wants to bet you on something, whatever, put them all together. Who offers this bet? Who opens first? Do some books copy numbers from other books? What are the limits everywhere for this? How much do the prices move during the day? When do they tend to move? Why do you think they tend to move? Do you know anybody else that bets into this? If so, like, do they have insight to offer you? When do they bet? Do they move the market? Like, none of that has to do with, like, the starting pitcher for the Pirates tonight sucks in the first inning, so I want to bet the over on this. None of it has to do with that. Like, bucket 2 is all market domain knowledge. It's just like, are you the expert on that? So I don't know the answers to any of those questions with that one, but we talk about WNBA most valuable player on the show sometimes, and I'm sure everybody just tunes out when I talk about it. I like to think I know the answers to all those things, and I could rattle them off right now if I had to, and that's what it takes. And that's a market that I'm not competing against anyone smart. Like, I'm not even competing against smart people there, and I still have to know all that stuff. I'm competing like I'm not even that smart. I have to compete like this. I still have to know all that stuff just to win at that. I have to do that. Okay, now imagine the person doing baseball and the person doing the NFL. Yeah. Like, now imagine what they're doing. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know what you asked me at first, but I feel like that was pretty good.
Well, no. Look, you nailed it, man. Like, it's a matter of like figuring out what you're good at, what you're not good at. Like, if you followed hockey and you lost money betting hockey every time, why would you keep betting it if you were bad at it? But it's realizing what you should and shouldn't do in certain situations. All right,